Hey yo, where my riders at? Those who are ride or die for Joe, show up on the video. Comment down below if you are in love with Joe and you can't wait to see him. Bro, I'm right there with y'all, bro. I'm excited to see Joe. So today we're gonna be talking about team combinations, team setups that we could possibly run with Joe. Tomorrow I should be able to find out what his scalings is, if it's not Wednesday on that day. But I'm excited. I hope that he can pull off being a main DPS and not just a full support, but he does have that supporter sub DPS vibe, but so did a Soul Day, right? So we know that he is going to be Beast Reality. He's going to be Burn. He also has a damage dealt buff. He has a shield. He gets crit rate with his I3. He wants to be low health, a lot of burn stacks, everything like that, right? So we're going to build teams. Now, the representative for Joe today, since he's not out, is going to be Pavia. I mean, we have to get somebody who's Beast, who also can just match, you know, somewhat close to what Joe does to people. And so let's really formulate a team for him, right? It's gonna be a Soul Day. A Soul Day is just gonna be with Joe. Like there's I know people don't want to get a Soul Day, some of them don't want, but like if you're wanting to form the best team, you're gonna throw a Soul Day. Like, she's literally made for burn teams. She is able to put so much burn, it's ridiculous. Now, of course, I've always said that she can work without burn, but when she is in her element, bro, she's amazing. Okay, so the next character, this part, it just kind of depends. Okay, so there's Synergies and Gutien. Now, Synergies will give you a bigger buff because Joe wants to be low health, and Synergies can give you low health and damage reduction. Now, she also, though, has a buff. It gives crit rate, but it also gives a damage dealt buff. Joe also gives a damage dealt buff. So there's gonna possibly be a conflict there. I don't know. If Joe's buff is named, then that's a whole different story, right? We don't know that. If it's not, then there's gonna be a conflict there with the damage dealt buff. But Synergies would be an amazing partner, being that Joe will have a shield, and then you have the damage reduction. You would have some survivability there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like I want to put them together, but I gotta see how that damage dealt buff is before I do. If not, maybe we can alternate and rotate the Synergies buff and Joe's buff to try to maximize our damage dealt, right? But I just wanted to let people know that he does it too. But Synergies is probably going to be one of the best because, like, when you're low health, like, you just get a huge damage. Now, there is Gutien. Gutien is out, like, in global right now, so I know some people are going to be wanting me to try out Gutien with Joe. I will try him out. Now, with Joe being Reality and then me including in Soul Day, it's going to be a really great pairing for Gutien, and we'll be able to put a lot of Reality defense debuffs on the enemy, right? And then Gutien's channel will also be able to add extra stacks of burn because of the additional attack from channel. So I do have that option to either do Gutien or Synergies, honestly. And I mean, we can also do like other characters, like, you know, you always have your necrologist and all of that stuff. But when I'm talking about the best characters to pair, Gutien and Synergies are going to be just some of the better pairings. I will pair Synergies because that's the one I'm wanting to work, right? So this is the one I'm wanting to work. Of course, I'll talk about other options, like the Synergies spot can go between her or Gutien. Now, lastly, for the healer, there are a few options, if I'm gonna be honest. Okay, there's a few options for your healer to help you stay topped up. I would say if you're wanting to mainly focus on Joe, you have Vila. She can give the crit buff. She can get she'll take a while though at the start to get into Rusalka. You'll have to just, you know, it'll take you a minute to get to Rusalka status, being that this is a full Reality team. So I know people love Vila, so it'll take you a while to get Joe going until you get that extra buff, but you can give him some crit rate, crit damage to help him out a little bit, but I'd honestly say that Tooth Fairy is probably going to be a really solid option as well, because you're talking about her being able to apply a debuff to all the enemies that can help you crit more, and she's doing it passively, and we don't need her to heal too much because we want to stay low, but she can heal us just a little bit while applying the baby teeth, right? And then we still have the shields and the damage reduction because we don't want too much healing. And I know that Vila heals a lot in her when she ults, and so we don't necessarily want that. We really want to heal when we need it, you know what I'm saying? So I would say that Tooth Fairy would probably be a little bit better of an option. Just personally, even though I know I love Vila more than Tooth Fairy, but I do have to be honest when giving my content. So you could say that, but if I would be lying if I didn't say that Kakanya is another option I was thinking of. But here's the thing too. Kakanya, while you're getting your empathy stacks, she heals a crap ton as well, especially when I have her portrayed. She gives an attack buff, which would boost Joe's shield up a lot, but she heals too much before she dumps her empathy. I've seen her take someone from like, you know, 10% all the way up to full because she's healing off of a percent of her health, and like they're like 3k heals per each. So Kakanya with attack buff would work really good with the attack scaling that Joe has, but I'm worried that I won't be able to stay at that low health. So I really got to see how much is that scaling for being low. Is it worth it by not using supports like Kakanya or Vila? But Tooth Fairy is the one I'm kind of looking at a little bit more. There's also this is one where I would probably also use Med Pocket if I'm not really worried about crit as much with the team. Med Pocket has the sturdiness on the heal to help us with taking even stacking more damage reduction and less. That way we're not having to worry about healing and we can stay low, right? So that is also another option. And then you have the debuff to just increase damage. Again, I know Med Pocket hasn't really been in the meta, but if we're talking about just providing me with less heals but more protection, Med Pocket has that as well. And then also Yenny also with being able to provide a shield and to put weakness on the enemy so we just don't get one shot in certain situations. So there's a couple of things, but I'm gonna put Tooth Fairy here. Now the only problem I would say with Tooth Fairy is that she's not invested. She'll probably take a lot of damage because if you're using a beast character, you're typically going against plant characters, and then Tooth Fairy would be taking more damage. But if your Tooth Fairy is invested with the shields that you get from Joe and then the damage reduction from everybody, you should be fine, right? But again, this is all just speculation and stuff that we're saying. And then if you're worried about taking a little bit too much damage with trying to control Joe, then you can, because I know he burns himself and he's taking health from there. You could just swap out Semmelweis if you're not really wanting to worry about the low health, and then just go with Guts again. Let me put his side cube on. So there's a couple of, you know, options that you have there. If you go this route, you don't have to worry about Joe being too low as much, because like his burn isn't going to take that much, especially compared to what Semmelweis does, but you'll still have tons of debuffs from all of these characters. He's even a character that could go with Blasphemy BON, because you're applying a negative status, and then you have Gutsy ends, and you can put him on BON if you don't want to use his side cube. But of course he'll have his own side cube, and we're just waiting to see what that one's going to be, right? But guys, tons of options. Let me know what team comps you guys want to see Joe in. I will try to test them all out. I have a majority of the characters. I'm only missing like 2, so just let me know. We also have the roguelike that we can put him in as well, so if you're just wanting to see some low rarity things, I can also do that. And then Pioneer, the 3-star, he is a new 3-star character that I'm going to try to pair with Joe also. So for those who are curious about Pioneer, I will also be leveling up Pioneer as well. But guys, please like the video to help support, sub to the channel. I've been getting a huge influx of just views and support lately. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe the algorithm is starting to like me a little bit more, so I appreciate it, guys. I really do. But Anyways, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Lucky Lux out.